Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Absolutely Not Podcast. I'm your host, Heather McMahon. Want to say to each and every one of you, thanks for tuning in this week. We have so much to discuss, and I have a lot that I want to share. I want to apologize first off, though, because I have a horribly raspy voice, and I am fighting the good fight of some sort of upper respiratory chest cold, sinus infection, all of the above, the beginning of summer crud. So if I'm coughing a lot, I will try and do it off mic, but in general, you can hear it in the back of my throat. So, well, what do you know? Let's just jump right into it. I was supposed to be recording an episode this week post neck revision, and that didn't happen because I came back from a wonderful weekend in New York. But I touched down late Sunday and immediately I was feeling rough. And I woke up yesterday morning feeling really rough, sore throat, scratchy, big chest cough, the whole thing. And I called my doctor and they said, hey, you're trying to do too much. Yet again, you're trying to do too much. Let's push this a week so that your body can rest and heal. Because God forbid, we don't want to put you under anesthesia and you're choking on your damn mucus. So hope that's okay that I shared that with you. So I decided let's do a fresh episode so I can just kind of catch y'all up on the things that I have learned I am doing wrong in my life and some of the goals that I want to set for this month. Now, I feel a sense of relief that I am not, recuperating right this second. It is also very stressful because then that pushes some of the things that I need to do in July. That's cutting it pretty close. I mean, it is what it is. I have been very transparent, very open. If you've come out to any of the shows, you know that I talk about the neck and what I did. I would never lie and gaslight and gatekeep anything I've ever done because to me, that is the dumbest shit. Like we're all in life together. Like everyone relax. But, it was egregious. It was intense and insane for me to think that I would touch down and then the next day get up and have a major surgery. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. But again, it was like anxious. Okay, we're going to get through the tour. And we're doing this and we're on the road and we're checking all these things off the box. And then I'll get maybe 8 hours of sleep in my own bed. And then I'll turn around and then be put under. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. So I got back Sunday night and I could feel the crash starting to happen. And then I woke up yesterday and I was just like, I was fighting. I sweat through my pajamas. It's probably a mixture of my central nervous system finally going, like that deep breath. It's a mixture of just the my lack of immune system, just kicking me in the ass. But God said, Heather, you're going to chill a little bit this week, get your shit together, rest, relax, and recalibrate. And that's what I need. And I don't know who else needs to hear this, but maybe you need to say no to a few things this weekend and just re-fucking calibrate. So I'm bummed this moves things around in the schedule, but I have to just say, hey, give yourself a fucking week. Like, calm down. Relax. Chill the fuck out. I'm recording this in my basement, old school style, which is what I love. I don't have to worry about being on camera because as soon as I found out that surgery was postponed yesterday, I decided to do a full day of self-care on my face, aka I go into my beauty drawer, grab a bunch of products that I don't actually know what they do or in which step to use them. So therefore, I threw a acid peel on my face. And when I say my forehead right now is so fucking shiny. It's like the surface of the sun. Yet the bottom lower half of my face, you could be a space explorer walking on Mars and would not be able to tell the difference between the surface of Mars and the surface of my lower quadrant of my face. Because when I tell you the hormonal acne and the sloughing of the skin is diabolical. And Jeff, who is my king and always encouraging, even kind of looked at me this morning and was like, whoa, what happened? And I said, I'm sloughing. It is sloughing season. And for some folks, they feel it's cuffing season because it's the summer and you're looking for summer love. No. See, what I do in June is I retreat to Chateau McMahon. And it is when I wallpaper a bathroom. I end up doing some sort of procedure. I, make sure I've got good gum and oral health. I might see a podiatrist. I will be in full physical therapy because this is my month of the reset. It's a reset, bitch. And I need it. My body is craving it. I need it mentally, physically. I need the reset. And it doesn't necessarily mean that everything along the way before this was wrong, but it has been full throttle. It has been go, go, go. And something that I try to, I never want to bitch about it, but it's kind of the name of the game. It's like, you're not just on tour doing shows. All week in New York, I was running around and doing press for the upcoming tour dates. And just in general, it's like you're constantly having to whore yourself out through PR and doing public appearances and other people's podcasts and yada, yada, yada. And obviously, I want to maintain the integrity of this podcast. And you get how it goes. Everyone's wearing a million hats. I know if you're listening to this right now, doesn't matter what you do, you get it. But it's always forward facing. It's always being on. And so this is my month that I'm very selfishly saying, I just want to fucking kick my feet up. I don't want to perform. I just want to take a second for myself because I looked very hard at myself in the mirror and not just from an aesthetics point of view. I looked at myself in the mirror while I was in New York and I just said, something's got to give. Okay, honey, something's gotta give. The light behind the eyes has dimmed. If Bethany Frankel was standing across from me right now, she'd say, go to sleep, go to sleep. I'm like Kelly Ben-Simone, not taking the hint. I might actually just DM Bethany and see if she can call and yell at me. And then tell me to put everything bagel seasoning on cottage cheese and fix my life. But yeah, it is a whoa, pump the brakes. We got to figure it the fuck out time for me. Now, I know what you're thinking, Heather. It's ironic that June is also Pride Month, yet you, being an icon and an ally to the queer community, has decided to take a step back. You know what, guys? I just feel like it is time for me to step in the shadows for a couple weeks and allow all the wonderful gay people in my life to really take center stage. And, I'm allowed to have the center stage the other 11 months of the year. Don't worry, Ray's going to clip this and then do something sarcastic on TikTok about it. But, and also this is a great time for straight people in general to get their shit together, because if Pride Month is all about celebrating your gay friends and they're out in the mean streets doing their thing, this is a time for us to take a step back and fix all of the physical flaws that we have that then our said gay friends like to talk about and bully us for, the dry skin, the hormonal acne, the neck revision. Maybe the roots are a little darker than they need to be right now because I haven't had time to go to the salon. One of those situations. So I think the best gift that we can give to our friends in the LGBTQ plus, I'm sure there's more, community is, aesthetically, don't be ugly this month. Take a step back. Hibernate, maybe to spend some time in an infrared sauna, cold plunge, so that way we can all come together in July looking our best, feeling our best, and less ugly. Because if there's one thing that I never want to do is to be ugly around my gay friends. Lesbians don't really care. I've always said that being in a lesbian relationship would be so much easier. They're come as you are. You are beautiful. No makeup needed. But if you think that for a split second, I don't want to bring my A game, my RuPaul Drag Race level of beat to my gay male friends, then you must not know the kind of relationship that we have. It's honest, it's raw, it's real, it's positive, and it's very glamorous. So I just think the best thing that I could do right now is to take a step back, do some peels, eat light, go for a walk, focus on me physically, very vainly this month, so that when we all come back together in July, we're on an even playing field and I haven't disappointed the community. I don't know if that made sense to anyone, but in my mind, it's clear as day. Just don't be out in the streets and ugly around gay people this month. It's that easy. Don't do that to them. They're already fighting against the patriarchy 11 months out of the year. So the one thing you can do is maybe go home and do a red light therapy mask. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And that's just how I feel about that. So, hey, all my gay friends, you're welcome. You're welcome. But I definitely had to have a long, hard talk with myself, look in the mirror the other day of just like, wow, we have done it. We got through the spring leg of the tour. We sold a TV show. We did the award ceremony. We survived a fire. We did a fucking cruise. We did a week on the Today Show. We've done endless rounds of press and PR and podcasting and auditioning and traveling. And it has been nonstop. And it is a time to calm it down, ice the feet. Dude, I'm wearing a wrist guard right now. I wish this was on video. Actually, see, these end up being the best episodes, and then I don't have them on video, and then they don't go viral, and then I want to kill myself. But regardless, I have this thing. Hold on, let me pull up the actual diagnosis. Okay. It sounds so much worse than it is, but it's actually wildly painful. Hold on, let me pull it up. I have a thing that I'm currently suffering from, but again, it's June. I won't make it about me. Quervain's tenosynovitis. It's a type of tendon inflammation that affects the thumb side of the wrist. Key signs are pain or swelling near the base of your thumb, pain when turning your wrist, making a fist, or gripping. So I have this condition right now in my wrist, my thumb. I can't grip anything. I can't pick up things. I can't slide my hand through the handle of a book bag. My arm just basically goes limp. So my dear friend Carolyn, who's with me in New York, she's a physical therapist. She's like, you got to get this. I'm basically wearing a brace, but the one that I had to reorder is specifically, it goes around your thumb. I look like a professional bowler. Okay. Have you ever seen a professional bowler, how they have those certain gloves and it's usually a little extra around the thumb to support the way that their two fingers slide into the ball, and then the rest is really supportive underneath? That's what I'm wearing. I am walking around the city of Atlanta looking like a professional bowler. Meanwhile, I'm in excruciating pain. And I really am not trying to be a little bitch about this, but damn, I ain't had a tendon issue in a minute. And you know what this is from? Pulling and schlepping my fucking suitcases through the airport, dragging my bags up 8 flights of stairs backstage at a shady theater. Like, that's just the name of the game. And my friend Carolyn, who is a physical therapist, said, Heather, at this point in the game, why are you carrying your own bags? And I looked at her and I said, you dumb bitch. You got a good point, baby. Now, obviously, if Jeff is with me, he is my Sherpa. But you know what? I said, Carolyn, you're right. I need to work a little extra harder so I can afford a bag man. You're not wrong, bitch. You're not wrong. So this entire month, I will be, obviously zhuzhing up the neck. We're going to be working on the various quotations, Raven-Symoné syndrome, whatever the fuck I have on my wrist. I'll be doing more acid peels, hopefully going on my hot girl walks at night with my weighted vest and the dogs. We're doing extensive dog training. That's another thing that we're getting locked into. Macaroni and Rigatoni right now are at this fabulous farm. They're at this camp about 20 minutes north of our house. It's the best. And they love their trainers there. And then we're going to be doing 5 days a week, 90 minutes a day, one-on-one training. Because my goal is I want to be able to bring them on the road. And Macaroni's going through something right now. We've now inherited my sister's dog, Bronson. And so there's now 3 Frenchies in the house, and Macaroni's feeling some type of way about Bronny, even though they're best friends. It's a whole thing. So either way, we're all having to have a reset, whether it's an emotional reset, a mental reset. Everybody in this fucking house is factory reset on the brain, body, and attitude. That's what we're doing. So that's what I'm gearing up for this month. Am I disappointed that I am not currently icing my neck and recuperating from my revision? Yes. But do I think I needed the extra 8 days to get my shit together? I do. So whoever needs to listen to this message right now, just to hit the reset button, take a breath. Maybe you don't have to rush into things, as quickly as you thought. Just everybody calm the fuck down. That is very important. But yeah, we have 3 Frenchies right now. We have 3 Frenchies. We have 3. And I love Bronson with all my heart. But he's blind in one eye. And literally when Robin walks him, it is actually the blind leading the blind. And they both have a failed left eye. Bronson's eye is like, it's getting that, that old man, that old dog syndrome where it's kind of glossed over. Robin had a shitty cataract because she got it off a Groupon. So her left side isn't really working. So when we go for walks, I have to make sure they're on the right side of me. Because if not, they wander a little too far in the road to the cars. I mean, it's a whole fucking thing. So we're all in this house right now, just trying to hold it together. But that's fine. That's fine. It's okay to take some time off. And that has been a struggle for me. That has been a struggle. It is okay to say, hey, do something selfish for yourself. I've saved so many fucking dense bean salad recipes. Shout out to this woman. I believe her name's Violet Witchell. Okay. It's violet.cooks on TikTok. I'm obsessed with her. She makes these dense bean salads that are just absolutely orgasmic, mouth-watering. And I told Jeff, I said, here are the 4 dense bean salads I want you to make, and I need them in the fridge. And a dense bean salad has some sort of like white kidney bean or garbanzo bean, some pepperoncinis, shaved Parmigiano Reggiano, a red onion, tomatoes. You do it with a nice vinaigrette, add some grilled chicken, and as it soaks day after day in the fridge in the sauce, it just gets denser and more delicious, and it's healthy. And I grabbed Jeff by the throat and I said, make me dense bean salad. I'm on a reset. And he's like, you're fucking insane. And your face is peeling off. What did you do to yourself last night? And I said, I don't know. I mixed a bunch of chemicals that were in a drawer and I thought, this is a good idea. Did not read a single direction on a single thing that said highly flammable face meal. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a lot of dense bean salads, a lot of hot girl walks, the sauna bag, some lymphatic drainage. I'm doing dry brushing. I'm doing chlorophyll in the water. And I want to give a shout out to a brand that I've worked with before. They don't currently sponsor me, but honestly, I swear to God, knock on wood, between this and the Lord, this is the only way I haven't had the full-blown flu for the amount that I've been working the last couple months. This Armor colostrum shit, I'm obsessed with. So this is not sponsored, but I realized one of the reasons why I'm run down right now is obviously my body's just shutting down, but I did not take my Armor colostrum this last week. And what do you know? Here I am, ill. But I have been very dedicated to the Armoras of the colostrums, and it has kept me upright this entire year since I started using it. And I should have known. As soon as I walked in the house, I left my bottle at home. And that's probably why Scarlett took a tumble. But anywho, want y'all to know how I almost got scammed the other day, or like last week. So when I was in New York, I decided, you know what, listen, okay, I love my doctor, but maybe let's just get a second opinion for this revision, even though you 99% of the time want to go back to your original doctor, whom I love. I just got anxious and was nervous and decided, you have a lot of people talking in your ear, and I was like, okay, let me just try and get a second opinion. And obviously, I wanted to possibly get in for the doctor who did Lindsay Lohan and Kris Jenner's faces. Now, I don't know how many times I have to explain this. I've had nothing done to my face, only my neck, only my neck. They tighten the muscles, they trim off a little bit on the sides. That's it. Only the neck. The face, the same. Sadly, the same. Okay, should I have gotten an upper left? Probably, but I did not, because I don't want to look crazy. I just want to look like myself. Just, smooth out some things as I age. So I have a buddy who's like, hey, I've got an in with Dr. Steve Levine. Let me get you in. I'm going to put you in a group chat with the gal that works in his office. So this entire time I'm thinking that I'm texting with somebody in this office. Now I figure they're never going to be able to get me in. It's going to be crazy expensive, but I just thought for peace of mind, so I wouldn't say, hey, I didn't ask. I'll just get a second opinion. I'm texting and then this woman calls me. And she's like, Heather, we're so excited to talk with you. Big fans, So we're really excited for you to come in and talk about, what you need. I was like, hey, I just want to catch you up to speed. This is what I had done. I'm just looking for a little bit of an improvement. I make a joke. My doctor went a little too conservative. And I was just seeing if another doctor agrees with me or if I should seek outside counsel kind of thing. And this woman's like, oh, yeah, for sure. And I said, so just curious, what exactly, are the procedures that your office is known for? And the woman's like, cosmetic dentistry. And I said, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. She's like, so here's the deal. In order to get an appointment with Dr. Levine, we all kind of work in the same office. We consult with patients about their teeth first. And I said, excuse me? And so I had to listen to this woman for a solid 7.5 minutes try and sell me on veneers before she would even give me the doctor's number. I'm like, at this point, I'll just call the office. So I just want y'all to know everybody is running some sort of fucking scam. So I listened to the sales bitch and then I said, okay, that's so great. As of right now, I have a pretty good bite. Maybe need some teeth whitening from the copious amounts of Diet Coke, iced coffees and red wine I consume on a daily basis. But if I'm ever in the market for new $100,000 teeth, y'all will definitely be the first people that I call. And she's like, great. Well, so let's get a consultation on the books and then I can connect you with Dr. Levine. I was like, are you fucking kidding? Are you kidding me? I don't need teeth. I mean, if you're telling me I need teeth, I'll take the note, but I don't need teeth. And shout out to my dentist, Dr. Gurley, whom I love, who has also been championing Jeff on his Invisalign journey. When they hear in front of the camera, when they know that you do anything public facing, it's all fucking scams. And I don't say this in a way I'm sure Dr. Levine's office is incredible. But for somehow the wires got crossed. And the next thing you know, this person who I think told my friend, oh, I can get her in or I have an in. I thought I was talking to a nurse at this guy's office. And the next thing I know, it's a cosmetic dentist office. And they're like, yeah, we'll CC you on an email with their nurses if you promise to get $100,000 worth of teeth first. I just couldn't believe it. And I'm on this call just going, okay, thank you so much. That's what Hollywood does. So, learn my lesson real quick with that one. I mean, for fuck's sake. That's why you got to trust your gut on this shit. Trust your gut on this shit. And, go get 3 or 4 opinions. But I really thought, I was like, it can't hurt. I mean, Kris Jenner looks great. And I'm not getting my face done. But, if the guy does faces, he probably does next. So maybe we'll just see. Maybe we'll just see what he's up to. But no, they're like, yeah, we'll CC that office when you've signed up to have all of your teeth chiseled down to tiny chiclet nubs, and then we'll put fake teeth over them. And I'm not hating. If you've got veneers, I hope they're beautiful. All right? Veneers are fantastic. I'm not there yet. Do I need some bonding on the front 4 teeth because I keep chipping them? I do. Is my smile a smidge crooked? It is. I'll never forget. I whitened my teeth once, professionally at Dr. Gurley's office. And this woman fucking came for me. She was like, you've sold out. You got fucking veneers. I was like, first of all, I don't have veneers. Literally do not have veneers. I don't know why you're coming for me. Also, go fuck yourself. Also, thank you for saying that because that's how good my teeth look because I did professional whitening. And it is really wild too. We're all just like, 1 week of Crest white strips away from truly doing the minimal amount for a glow up. So this is also a great reminder. I want everybody to write this down. Go get some white strips or call your dentist and get in for that whitening because it apparently makes a huge difference. But that's the thing on this wellness journey. I'm really trying to, go to the best, be around the best, ask people who know a lot more than I do for the best recommendations. I'm trying to see the best specialists. That wasn't an option 5 years ago, but now I'm like, all right, let's just, let's call the guy. Let's just call the guy who did the thing for all the other people and let's just see. And then you realize there's 65 people gatekeeping, trying to shake you down. The next thing you know, you wake up with new teeth, new tits, and you didn't even get your neck done. You're like, what are we doing here? I came in for one thing, and I'm leaving with hair plugs, a new vagina, and eyelash extensions. That's not what I wanted. So this is also a lesson in don't overcomplicate or overthink things. Just stay on the path that you're supposed to stay on. But it's just so Hollywood, If you want to do anything, whether it is, I obviously I know a lot of this shit is cosmetic, but even if I wanted to go in and, I don't know, get some of these arteries unclogged. Once they hear that you got a TikTok and an Instagram and possibly a blue check mark, baby, you will wake up with new jugs you didn't even ask for. So you got to advocate for yourself. My God, when I go get a pap smear every 2 years, I'm basically doing a tight 10 while doing a Kegel, because my doctor expects me to come in with a funny attitude. No, I love my doctor. I love my guy. I haven't even had time for a pap smear. You know what I'm doing this month? I'm also getting a pap smear. Writing that down. I haven't had my annual. And I'm due for that. See, this is the month while everybody else is out partying on Fire Island. I'm keeping my heterosexual self at home doing masks, peels, necks, apparently teeth, tits, all that, and getting a pap smear and just making sure everything in the cervical area is A-okay. I'm going to check that AMH hormone, and they're going to say, hey, guess what? Your fertility is lower than ever before. So I have already mentally prepped myself. But there is an interesting thing where, I ride this fine line of I share so much of my life and I'm happy to do it and I love my job and all this. And then I go in and I'm like, I just want to get a pap smear. I can't be funny right now. My pussy just got scraped. I just want to get a pap smear and re-up on the birth control so I don't have another ovarian cyst rupture on an eventual flight to Portugal this year. Please and thank you. That is where I'm at. But man, I've been dodging scammers left and fucking right. You got to stay alert. And that is the other thing on your health journey, whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to get your cholesterol down. We got a buddy who is one of the most in shape men I've ever met in my life. He's essentially a tennis pro. He's a financial advisor. Shout out to our boy Ryan. He has high cholesterol. And when I tell you this man is a walking example of health and wellness, and we were out to dinner in New York and he dropped a literal bomb on us. Guys, I got to get the fish. I can't do the red meat. And we're like, what do you mean? Protein, bro. And he's like, nah. Between the cholesterol and the clogged arteries, we're not okay. It's hereditary. It's like my mom and sister have high blood pressure. Thinnest, tiniest angel babies you've ever met. And this old workhorse, I have perfect blood pressure. Do you know in almost all of my charts, it says perfect blood pressure. BMI, not so great. But I'll tell you right now, we could be in the middle of a war zone and this hand, what would stay steady? Okay? Cortisol through the roof, adrenals shot, hair falling out, weight up. I'm the heaviest I've been since, I'd say 6 months before my wedding. But we're on it. We're going to get on it. I'm on it. I've got a plan. Leave me alone. And I really am using this episode just to explain to you where I'm at. And if you've never been a thin person ever in your life, I don't want to hear it. But I could see the weight was starting to creep up. And even though I thought I was doing the right things, it was not enough. And I have not done enough physical activity, even though I feel exhausted. And when I was looking at my nutrition, it was actually really shit. So again, a lot of dense bean salads, a lot of mango chia seed protein puddings in the morning, and no coffee on an empty stomach. Warm lemon water. And then 30 minutes after a high protein breakfast, we're allowed a latte. Oh, you ready for this shit? Speaking of a latte. So I'm flying up to New York and I'm dying. I hadn't had any coffee that morning. Wait, I don't even know. Have I told you about 360? I don't know if I've talked about 360 yet. All right. Well, here's the deal. So 360, the most elite level of being a Delta loyal bitch you can be. I have my own dedicated line. I probably am going to bump all you assholes on the upgrade list. It's just a coveted award system for folks who spend a lot of money with Delta. And I just feel seen, and I really appreciate that. But anyways, they surprised me. I was doing this big thing with Delta 2 weekends ago. I just couldn't believe it. So now I'm a 360 girly. Well, if you're ever standing in front of the gate, ready to board, what is the order of events? Pre-boarding, anybody who needs a little extra time. Any active military, you go next. Then what is it? 360. That's before Zone 1, Diamond Medallion, etc., etc. And all I wanted was to get on this last leg, or get on this last flight, headed to the last leg of the tour. And I wanted to walk past everyone with my head held high and a sense of superiority when they say Delta 360. Because what ends up happening, especially if you live in a hub, a Delta hub, it's all men in Patagonia vests and Peter Millar pants. Finance bros who were, head of finance for Home Depot, head of finance for the New York Giants, like really big corporate dudes. And I just wanted to have the stickers all over my suitcase and my fabulous travel day outfit and my hair extensions just, matted a little bit to the back of my head. And all I wanted was for them to say, now ready to board, members of 360, and push in front of all these men and be like, I deserve a spot here too. Well, on the flight up to New York, they changed our gate like 3 times. Jeff and I were running late. We had to drop the dogs off at camp. It was a whole thing. So we're running through the airport. I'm talking beads of sweat dripping down. And when you have that one bead and it just hits the in between your ass crack and you can feel it and and then all of a sudden you're like, am I peeing myself? Oh no, that's just full blown middle of the back fat sweat that has now gone through the ass and then under the underbelly of your undercarriage. So we didn't get called for the 360. So I didn't have my moment. Very humbling. I sit on the flight and I'm like, as soon as I land in LaGuardia, I'm putting in that Starbucks order. And you know me, I don't fuck with the Starbucks. I don't do it. They burn me. I never saw any justice. I don't do it. But when you have to do what you have to do, you have to do what you have to do. So I'm on TikTok and I'm like, at least let me find an order that adds a little light behind my eyes. I need a little extra sprinkle of a dulce de leche on something so it can make this fucking ass water taste a little bit more bellissima. So I find this girl on TikTok and she's got all these crazy fucking recipes. And I said, you know what? If I'm going to be forced to drink this toilet water, I'm at least going to make this barista work for it. Because, I never leave a Starbucks without a 20% tip. 1, because they don't allow you to not leave a tip. And 2, I've worked in the service industry. The least I could do is give back to my wonderful barista. This is my new order. Okay. I'm going to wait for you to get a pen and paper. Are you ready? Okay. 3 shots of blonde espresso over ice in a grande or venti cup. My choice of milk, coconut milk. 1 pump, sugar-free vanilla. If you want to get crazy, you can add other pumps of other flavors. I'm not trying to have a diabetic foot by 9 a.m. So I only do 1 pump of what? The sugar-free vanilla. I do a couple sprinkles of cinnamon powder. Okay? And are you ready for it? Strawberry cold foam. Yeah, I said it. I'm going to give you a second to just sit there. Marinate on what I just told you. Let's recap. 3 shots of blonde espresso over ice. Your milk of choice. 1 shot of sugar-free vanilla syrup. Cinnamon powder. Strawberry cold foam. When I tell you this shit is delicious, it's still acidic. You get the underbelly of some horse hay, but that strawberry cold foam on top, I don't know how many calories. I don't know what it is. I didn't know about these cold foams. They apparently have a horchata flavor, a creme brulee, a salted caramel, a vanilla, but this strawberry cold foam reminds me of drinking strawberry milk, and bitch, I am into it. It's also probably why I'm ill today. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Oh yeah, bitch. I am now that bitch at Starbucks with a what? Complicated order. Shout out to Angela Johnson, who used to say that when she would play Bon Qui Qui, one of the best characters on Mad TV ever, period. You got a what? A complicated order. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. I said, if we're going to play this game, if I'm going to dance with the devil, I'm going to do it right. I'm curious. I want you to try the order, report back. And again, this is not very sweet. So if you want it sweeter, you hit it with some other syrups. But this is my journey. And I had one of those bad boys. And when I tell you my eyebrows were on the back of my neck, I was buzzing. We get into the car, we head into the city, and I'm like, let's go to the Beacon. And Jeff's like, the show is until Friday. Heather, it's Monday. And I was like, let's fuck it up. Let's do laps around the Beacon. And he's like, again, the theater is not open. I was like, let me in. I had a Starbucks with strawberry foam, cold foam cream. And my husband was just like, you're never allowed to have one of these again. Ever. He said, never, ever are you allowed to have that much caffeine in a sweet, delicious, creamy way again, period. Nope. Shut it down. Cortisol's crazy. You lost your mind. So I was only allowed 2 of those during the week. And then Jeff said, you know what you're not allowed to do on your wellness journey in July? Go to Starbucks. Although we're getting this thing in Atlanta called a Dutch Bros. All right, dude, there's a place called Dutch Bros that we're getting in Atlanta, and it's got a drive-through, and it is like the wildest drinks you have ever seen in your life. Wait a minute, they have protein coffee? How does this work? Vanilla protein latte, espresso, vanilla, and protein milk. Wow. Let's see the nutrition, though. What is the nutrition on that? Classic latte contains milk. All right, I don't know what protein milk is, and I don't want to know, but every single one of these coffees has like 7,000 calories. Oh, that's caffeine. Wait, where are the calories? Hold on. Total carbs. Oh, no. Absolutely not. Do not have any of these drinks. Total carbs in a hopscotch 0 sugar added protein latte. Large. It's got 430 calories. 110 calories from fat and 49 carbs. No. That. Oh my God. Wait, let's look up the calories for strawberry cold foam calories. Give me 1 second. They estimate around 200 to 250 calories. Wait a minute. Hold on. Now there's a Reddit thread. Strawberry cold foam calories. It says approximately 118 to 150 calories. 13 to 21 grams of carb. No. Surely that's for the whole drink. Okay. No. No. Okay. So here's the deal. we're going to have to scratch that Starbucks order because, yeah, it's not great. That's not great. Well, back to a hot black coffee in the crotch it is. That is sad. And it looks like I won't be going to Dutch Bros to get a protein coffee unless I want to actually shit myself and go into cardiac arrest on my way out of town. I got to look at what this protein milk is. Anyway, see, this is the problem. Here I am thinking I've got the biohacking. I'm doing the alternative milks. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I've got this locked in. I'm ready for this wellness journey. I know exactly what I'm talking about. No, I don't have to question anything because I've done the research. I know what's good. And then I realized I consumed 4,000 calories and 65,000 grams of carbs in a protein coffee and don't understand why I have anal leakage. I mean, I can't win for trying. And again, I go in for a second opinion on the neck and I leave with new tits, a looser vag, and some wonky teeth. I really am trying, but in the words of Taylor Swift, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. Everybody agrees. Well, shit. And I love that I am manifesting this wellness journey this month, which will happen. But on top of that, I was deep into everybody is trying to summit Mount Everest right now. So I'm deep on Everest TikTok. And Jeff got so upset with me the other day. And I think I've spoken about this a fair amount on this podcast, that I have a really deep obsession with two things. One is North Korea, and two is people who climb Everest. I have watched every documentary about it. I do the research. I follow people's specific journeys. I follow them on X, which will always be Twitter to me, but I follow it on X. I follow it on TikTok and Instagram. And unfortunately, we are in the season where people are summiting. We've already lost some climbers. Like, I am deep into the subculture of folks who do Everest. And it's always been this like weird, deep, sick fantasy of mine to summit Everest. I don't know why. I'm not a hiker. If you asked me to drive up to North Georgia and hit the Appalachian Trail, I would say you're out of your fucking mind. But for some reason, Everest is fascinating to me. The motivation, the physical endurance, how much money it costs, how you have to have a guide, how people just literally fall off the face of the fucking mountain, freeze to death. And I don't say that in a light, flippant way, but that people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and don't make it back, right? It's the psychology behind putting yourself in that extreme danger and or challenging yourself. And then you have some folks who've done it 10 or 12 times, no problems. So Jeff, I was like, Jeff, I want to do it. He's like, you're a sociopath. You have a fever right now and an upper respiratory infection. You need to just fucking chill. You've already thrown acid on your face. You mix chemicals that will literally make you look like a lizard. You can't go out into the sun, Heather, because half your chin has fallen off from the amount of sloughing it's trying to do. And now you have the audacity to look at me and say, I think in the next couple of years, I want to do Everest. Jeff said, he was like, I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of fucked up shit you could do. I'm locked in this for life because I love you to death. But if you do Everest, he's like, we're done. He's like, I cannot worry about you at that level. That is something outside of my control. That is foolish. That is silly. You could die. If you do Everest, I'm out of here. And meanwhile, I have on this like I'd actively just put on some sort of acid all over my face. It's burning. My face is red. It's inflamed. And I'm like, why won't you let me do Everest? He's like, you don't even know how many fucking calories are in a Dutch Bros protein coffee, bitch. You've been sucking down cold foam like it's Yoo-hoo. Meanwhile, that shit's going to put you in an early grave. And that's the thing is, for me in my life, I can have a lot of lofty goals, but I will do something to fuck it up before I even get there. It is a full self-sabotage. I was like, okay, fine, Jeff, you have a point. You have a point. I get it. But if you listen to this episode this week and you want something to casually fall asleep to every night, I highly suggest you get on Everest TikTok, because this is the window. It usually starts middle of May, and this is the window into like the end of June where they're summiting. They're summiting, dude. They're summiting. I think maybe my fascination behind it is obviously how folks train, how they have the endurance, the mental fortitude to do it, but also how it's still as dangerous now in 2025 as it was back in the day. And I love watching the old documentaries about these like old German hikers who did Everest and nobody had oxygen and they made it down. And you have folks who have every sort of medical training, physical training. They have the best doctors in the world. You're doing the biohacking, the CO2 training, all of it. And yet some people are still not making it back. And I don't know why. I find it, maybe I'm just a sick fuck, but I find it so fascinating that it is still you versus Mother Nature. No matter how we have, trained and changed and evolutionized the way that we hike, spend time outdoors, all of our gear has changed, yet it's still just you in the fucking mountain, dude. It is you and the whipping winds of the North Face. And then I saw this video of this guy. He had summited Mount Everest. He went and then he snowboarded down one of the sides of the mountain. That doesn't make sense, but apparently he did it and he survived. And then the next year he decided to snowboard down a different side of the mountain, aka the North Face. All right, that's the name of the brand. But it's the North Face of Everest, and he was never seen again. And this is a good lesson for a lot of us. At what point do we just say, you know what, that first time, that first summit, that first thing that I did, that was okay? And I'm talking to myself too. At what point do we just say, it's okay to sit this one out? It's okay to take a break this week. It's okay to rest. It's all right to say, I got to take care of myself right now. It's okay to do so. But Jeff did say there's a lot of fucked up things that you could do that I would still try and work through. He's like, but you doing Everest, at least without him, and he has no desire to do it, it would be a deal breaker. And I said, I hear you, buddy. And then he gently peeled off a chunk of my skin and said, you want to put this on your bedside table? You're starting to peel. And I said, I love you. Good night. But yeah, that's where I've been. Oh, want to say huge shout out to everybody who came out to the show at the Beacon. Can't believe we're 50 minutes into this episode. That's where I'm going right now. But I cannot tell you, that was one of my favorite shows I've ever done. New York City, the tri-state area, all of my friends in New York, y'all show up for me. The biggest thank you to all my friends in Atlanta who flew up. They were all at the show at the Fox and then they flew up. We've kind of made this our thing. Like they all love coming up to the shows in New York, and we make a week out of it. And I feel so incredibly blessed to have folks like that who show up for me in my life. And I'm hoping that I can pull myself back together so that this summer I can show up for the people that I love in my life, a better person without a hacking cough and, a scaly skin. But man, we had a great time. The Beacon was incredible. And the cool thing is, if you ever play at any of the venues that are owned under the MSG umbrella, they give you really cool hospitality gifts. Really cool. And my friend Hannah, who, shout out to Hannah, love and adore her. She's in charge of all the, talent hospitality. Y'all, I got a Rangers hockey jersey that was bedazzled with my name and the year I performed at the Beacon. And it is the sickest shit I have ever seen in my life. I will be wearing it to every game at the Garden, bitch. One of the best gifts I've ever gotten. One of the best. Yes. Jeff immediately jizzed in his pants. He was so jealous. But we will be, dude, hockey season's about to start yet again. I mean, they're technically about to go to the Stanley Cup, but these guys have like 2 months off and then they're back on the ice, baby. That was a really cool gift. But just the Beacon was incredible. And you know, at the when I do shows in New York, it's like all my old bosses from all the restaurants I worked at, my old comedy teachers, people that I truly I was holding on to the sidewalk with, praying that we had enough money to get in a cab to go downtown to see a comedy show and to make it back. Those were the early days of being in New York City and grinding it out. Just those were the days. And so I guess it's very full circle for me to kind of take a moment and be like, wow, all right, we're doing it. We did it. And now it's okay to just say, all right, we're going to take care of ourselves. I mean, I'm sitting in my office looking at all the cool framed memorabilia. I have the giant sign from Radio City when we played that 2 years ago. A lovely fan made me the coolest shit when I became a Million Miler. Like, y'all make me really funny, thoughtful shit, and I'm obsessed with all of it, and I put it in my office, whether it's at the podcast studio or in my personal office. And I'm just so grateful that we're here and we're doing it. But I saw all my old bosses, and they come out to shows, and it's very tender and sweet, and I love making New Yorkers laugh, because I'll tell you, Chicago's a great audience. But New York audiences, they get it. New York audiences are the best theater audiences in the world. And that was just truly iconic to perform at the Beacon. I mean, it was an incredible show. I had so much fun. So I felt very warm and fuzzy to have that be the cherry on top. And, you know, it's exciting. Obviously, I'm going to be taking care of myself and finishing some other projects. I got a book and a script that's due. So while I'm recuperating, drinking my juices, my warm lemon water, jumping on my mini trampoline, getting the lymph going, doing my dry brushing, my infrared, going out doing laps in the pool, touching grass, speaking to my neighbors, going on long walks, doing the intensive dog training, icing the neck, rubbing the bunions, getting the PT for the thumb, doing this, doing that, removing a skin tag, checking my moles, getting a pap smear, making sure the colon is cleansed. While I'm doing all of that, I'll also be writing more material for the next leg of the tour and gearing up. I mean, I'll see you guys in August out on the road. And that excites me. You know, I talk about it with a lot of my comedy friends. You can't go out and perform and have material and be smart and on it and creative and fresh if you don't go out and live your fucking life. You have to go out and live your life. You know what I mean? You got to have those awkward interactions at a Dutch Bros coffee. Day one, where you get a delicious drink and then they go, ma'am, that's 7,000 calories. And you're like, damn it, it's not in the regimen. I am going to find something on that menu, though, that is good and clean and low-cal, that fits with the macros, baby. But if you don't go out and be with the people and see the things and have joy and take a vacation and get the light back in your eyes, then guess what? You turn into a nasty cunt. And we're trying to avoid that. Next thing you know, you come up with some ridiculous arrangement with yourself where you say, hey, I'm going to go climb Everest and ruin my marriage. Okay. I actually physically could not climb Everest right now because the sciatica is actually so bad. And my Raven-Symoné syndrome that I have on my thumb is just fucked. So talk about Scarlett taking a tumble. I would be rolling down the mountain when she comes. She'd be coming around the mountain when she came. So, God, I didn't even get to the voicemails. I'm sorry. This is already an hour long. We will get into the voicemails next week. I promise you. I just really wanted to give you an update on how I feel like I've scammed myself, getting scammed from external folks. But also it's okay to just say, hey, we're going to take a breath this week. One thing on the list I got to tackle is wallpapering a bathroom. I have a new she shed. My new tour closet's cool. Ooh, I'm going to get some good footage and get some good material and give you guys a tour of my room that I redid. It's pretty sexy. It's pretty sexy. Get it sexy. Get it sexy. Ay. That's a complicated order, period. So in the meantime, between time, always you can call into the hotline, 800-213-7503. And I'm going to go upstairs and make a dense bean salad and make some homemade cough syrup and get myself together. But I really am grateful for just how everybody has come out to all the shows. And I'm excited to go be a little adventurous this summer so that I can come back with an even broader experience and point of view and perspective for the road in the fall. And we have some exciting projects coming up. I'm really praying that my TV show gets picked up and that the book launches and we get all this stuff done. There's a lot of things that, we're quietly cooking in the corner. And it's time for me to refocus and shift my energy on that and myself and be selfish. And, keep chit-chatting with y'all. Podcast is going to be full throttle in effect. Live and updated. So don't worry. There's going to be fantastic episodes. And please call into the hotline 800-213-7503. But I love you. I mean it. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for listening to me. And thanks for always being here. And hey, baby, summer started. Let's get to it. Ciao, Bella. Arrivederci. See you on the next episode of Absolutely Not.